Alright, what is up, everybody? And welcome back to another live stream. Today I'm jumping back into Angels with Scaly Wings. I am going to be continuing on with A Solitary Mind. Give me a second here. Alright, I got the chat open on my phone, so that way I can see the chat. Alright, so yeah, I'm actually streaming and recording this time. Looks like everything's okay. Alright, so we left off right here, right? Yeah, okay. I got some more free time today, if you say so. Yeah, so last time we left off, we explored the ambassador's secret little lab, and the reason I know that that's what that was is actually, if you watch part 7, my final, basically the final part of my playthrough of the base game, you'll see that that's what was going on. What's going on, Dark Lizard? Is the stream look okay? It's the first time I'm streaming directly from my computer, so. Yeah, but anyway, so part 7 of my playthrough of Angels with Scaly Wings, that's how I know that that was what that was. It was the abandoned lab. Of course, this is non-canon, though, because it's just a mod. Alright, we're gonna skip ahead from this. Yes, I want to skip ahead. Okay, so we can't let Bryce die, right? Because that'll negatively affect the ending. So let's see if he'll let us do it. Yeah, he's like straight up like, all right. Oh shit, my apologies if I wasn't clear the first time. I am unable to modify this timeline in this manner. I'm not entirely sure why it is this way, but it looks like if you want to change the outcome, you'll have to start a new timeline instead. This means going back to the beginning of chapter 1 and starting over from there until you get to this point again. That's not going to happen. Okay, so it looks like we're forced to get the second ending. We're not going to get the, I guess we're not going to get the best ending with Naomi. However, if you go back to the beginning and load an unrelated save file before you get to this point again, it may cause your progress in this manner to be erased, which means that you'll have to start over again if you wish to change this outcome. It might be easier to just accept this outcome and move on for now. Yeah, I think that'll be a lot easier, because I'm not going through 3 hours of progress all over again. That ain't gonna happen. Oh, they changed the moderator icon? On Kick? Okay. Had no idea. They're always changing things. Isn't that site still in beta? Okay, so we know what's gonna happen here, right? Bryce gets blown up. So yeah, as you can see, Sebastian ain't too happy about that. So yeah, he says, I can't believe he's really gone. I'm sorry, Prince. I just don't know what to say. All the the responsibility falls on me now, and Raza is still out there somewhere. This case is just beyond our capabilities. We were already at a bare minimum before this, but with Bryce gone, I just don't know what we should do now. I've already requested help from one of the cities. I hope they'll send some good investigators our way as soon as possible. At least we reclaimed everything that was stolen. Well, except for the eggs. I don't want to have to explain to the parents how their children were killed in the explosion. All of the generators were just sitting there inside. It makes me think that Raza must have left in a hurry. And we got so close, too. It was his hideout, for crying out loud. He probably just saw us approaching and left before we even had a chance to apprehend him. But you know what? We can't stop now. If anything, this has only proven that he's even more dangerous than we thought. If Raza can make bombs out of generators, who's to say where he'll use them next? We have to stop him, Prince. Are you with me? Yes. Regardless of Bryce's death, we have to try our best to proceed with the investigation, for his memory and for the sake of the town. At least Raza doesn't have any generators for now. All the ones stolen were accounted for inside the building. Alright, let me see what else we have. When we searched the building, we found more than the things Raza stole. We also found this bloody bandage. Do you think that's his? That's what we need to find out. But given all that we know, it probably is. So he's wounded. We know he was injured during the fight with his first victim. But whether this is from the same wound or something else, I'm not sure. In any case, you could bring it into the lab for us to find out more. Sure. Next, we have a witness who reported hearing loud bangs during the night. We'd like to send someone to make a follow-up visit. You'll need to confirm the witness statement, then see if he has anything new to share. Also, now that we've reclaimed your PDAs, we're going to send one to the archives for analysis. Since they have experience with human artifacts, they're better suited to do it than any of our departments. No problem. In any case, I'll just leave everything here until I get to it, so feel free to do these tests as you wish. I know it's laughable that we don't even have a free hand for simple errands. Don't worry about it. Anyways, I should get back to the investigation now. I'll leave the stuff for you here, and I'll take care of the rest once I get back, alright? Sure thing. Good luck, Prince. You too. Man, it sucks that Bryce died, man. Hello, Damien. Not gonna be happy to see us. Probably not gonna give a shit. If you read the webcomic, you'll actually learn why Damien is the way he is. The webcomic actually kind of explains why he's always like kind of pissy with you. It's a whole kind of a backstory revolving around that character. It's pretty interesting. So let's, I guess, take the PDA to the library, I suppose. Not sure how much use that's gonna be, but yep, and then we have to go to his house, drop it off, blah, 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 blah. All right, meet with Naomi. Here we go. You're gonna get that special surprise. Following Naomi's invitation, I made my way to the new town area. The several tall glass and concrete buildings towering high above everything were in stark contrast with the generally smaller, mostly wooden houses one could find in the older parts. Looks like you've seen this before. No, I don't want to skip. So, what was I saying earlier about the... Yeah, part 7 of my playthrough. About around the 3 hour, 15 minute mark or so, you'll learn why I like how I know that area that we were in on the last part of this, that was the abandoned lab that the administrator was from. Because the true ending explains that. I knew it because I knew the name Dr. Thomas was familiar. And that's when it clicked in my mind. I watched back, and yeah, I watched back the true ending, and I saw that Dr. Thomas was one of the scientists that was with the administrator. So that kind of explains that whole scenario right there. That's what that building was. It was the laboratory where the dragons were once held. If you want more info, you can just watch part 7 of my playthrough. Anyway, it certainly surprised me how deserted the streets were. For about 5 to 10 minutes, I hadn't seen a single dragon pass by. It felt odd to not have Sebastian nearby anymore, but with Bryce gone, he now had way too many responsibilities to be my guard. Naomi gracefully glided around one of the buildings and soon landed in front of me. There you are, Prince. An odd place to arrange a meeting, to be honest. I know. Though, it's next to the venue I wanted to invite you to. Why not just meet there instead? Its location is a little tricky to explain, since several roads are still under construction, so yeah, this must be a brand new town. Besides, it would ruin the surprise. You and your surprises, Naomi. This one's good and not explosive, promise. Suddenly, her face drooped for several seconds. She shook her head and looked at me again. Sorry about that. I still can't believe that Bryce is gone. You know, I was considering canceling this meeting, but I don't think I want to face my thoughts alone right now. It's alright, I'm here for you, Naomi. Thank you. Anyway, I hope you'll like what I've planned. The place is located just a few minutes on foot from here. Makes me wonder what it could be. You'll see in just a moment. Naomi led me through a couple of narrow, deserted streets and inner yards towards a large, yet relatively low, gray building with numerous tall windows and several sets of double glass doors. We walked through a large auditorium and towards a reception desk. A lone gray runner dragon was happily enjoying his nap time on a large computer chair. Hesitantly, Naomi knocked on the table. In an instant, he assumed a proper seating position and turned to face us as if nothing had happened. Hello and welcome to our establishment. My name is Rain. How can I help you? That's not what your badge says, though. Seaweed-headed dragon. The name badge says Seaweed-headed dragon. Wow. Great name. It's a long story. Let's say that my parents are funny people. Good evening. I've made an arrangement earlier. Naomi. One moment. Ah, yes, I see it. Order placed this morning. Your payment has been processed and everything looks good. Section 2, West Wing. Allow me to escort you there. That would be great, thanks. We made our way through a series of corridors and staircases until we stopped in front of a simple wooden door. The receptionist produced a plastic keycard out of his pocket, pressed it against the reader on the nearby wall, and pulled the handle down. The showers can be found past the door over there. If you have any problems or questions, please don't hesitate to contact our reception desk. Have a nice evening. He handed the keycard to Naomi and quickly left the room. So all of this is just for us? Yup, I rented out the whole thing until morning. So, pool party? Told you, this one's gonna be safe and relaxing. Still, I better make sure there are no generators in proximity about to blow up. Shush. I'm just joking. I know. The walkways are very narrow, though. Would that be a problem? No way I can fit there without risk of slipping. Oh well, I don't need showers or a ladder anyway, so we're fine. I can't go swimming in my clothes, though. Then just take them off. That escalated quickly. You're so quick to assume things, Prince. Of course, I remember what you said about human traditions related to clothing, so I got you another wetsuit. Why didn't you tell me to bring the one you bought earlier? It would have ruined the surprise. Good point. Naomi pulled out a small plastic package from her belt bag and handed it over to me. Since we weren't at sea anymore, I didn't need a full costume and thus settled for a much lighter outfit. Meanwhile, the dragoness dropped her bag on the floor and happily jumped into the water. I expected a huge splash, but her entry was surprisingly smooth. She swam a few quick laps around the perimeter and then stopped at the corner opposite from the panoramic windows. Propping her back against both walls, she leaned back and relaxed in the shallow end. Done with changing clothes, I soon joined her in the pool. Enjoying yourself? Naturally. Clean, warm water, a quiet evening, nice company. After all the recent craziness, what's there not to like, Prince? Yeah, a moment to take a breather for us both. Should have brought us some drinks, but I'm a little wary of alcohol. Bryce used to drink way too much to drown the stress, and I didn't want to end up like him. Maybe I should have told him to slow down. Maybe if I convinced him to look after himself better, this mess wouldn't have happened. Don't blame yourself. Raza was the one to set up that trap, and he's the one responsible for everything. I guess. It's just, I don't have many friends left. Mav, Seb, and you, Prince. But then, you are going to leave soon, aren't you? Once the situation is resolved and my job is done, they'll likely recall me. It's not my decision to make, sadly. I see. But for now, you're here. It's all that matters. Yeah, and maybe I'll get to stay. Who knows? That would be wonderful. Though I'm surprised you haven't invited anyone else to join us. I thought about it, but this meeting is sort of an apology to you for what happened during our last get-together. And since I honestly don't know how well you get along with others, I decided against taking any risks of ruining you. Hey, it's all good. Besides, this pool is certainly too small for more than 2 people. Yeah. Naomi beckoned me to come closer, which I did, swimming up to her side. She unfolded her wing and gently pressed it against my back, giving it some extra support. Oh yeah, I forgot. I need to pull up the guide, huh? Alright. Let me pull up the guide here. I love this song for this town's theme song. It's really good. Okay. So, wrap your arms around her shoulders as romance +1. Naomi leaned in closer as well. The evening sky is quite beautiful today, isn't it? Yeah, I really like the view and atmosphere of this place. On the way here, I was a little nervous, to be honest. Had some doubts about the penthouse section being the right choice for our meeting, but I'm happy you're enjoying it. Why wouldn't I? You might feel a little too open, and you humans seem to be pretty secretive. Considering how many dragons have wings, could make you uncomfortable. Now that you mention it. Don't worry, the glass is almost completely opaque for anyone outside. They won't be able to see through. Good to hear. Give her a kiss is romance +5. Nice. So, nobody will see me do this. Quickly yet gently, I put my hands behind her frills and turned her head to face me. She looked confused for a moment until I pressed my mouth against hers. Naomi pushed back a little, trying her best to remain in contact without applying too much strength. Her surprisingly long tongue slipped past my lips. I took it as an invitation to return the gesture as well. Soon we parted. Naomi used this opportunity to draw her tongue over the tip of my nose up to my temple. I see you took the initiative for our first kiss. Couldn't resist. You're simply too cute. Do you really want us to be more than friends, Prince? I suppose that's how you can interpret it. But you'll have to return through the portal sooner or later. What are we going to do then? I could convince my leaders to allow me to stay here, or heck, take you with me to my world if that fails. And if you'd be up for it, Naomi. Abandoning everything and moving to another place is a huge commitment. I'm not sure, honestly. But until then, it doesn't matter. For once in my life, I want to forfeit any long-term planning and just enjoy my time, here and now. With you. So do I. At least for this evening, nobody is going to disturb us. Peace and quiet. Reminds me of how things used to be during university, and before it. I miss those simpler times when grass used to be greener, the sun was brighter, and I wasn't well acquainted with every crime this town has seen for the last few years. Being young and naive is such an adorable little example of blissful ignorance. But you can't keep it up forever. True, sooner or later, I was bound to crash into reality. Your encounter with it wasn't too bad, thankfully. Yeah. A rich family and supportive friends give you many luxuries other people lack. But you know why I joined the police. To help people and make a difference? There's a huge reason behind my motives that has little to do with being a bleeding heart do-gooder. Not sure how to put it. You might think of it as egotistic or selfish, but you deserve to see the full picture. For most of my life, I was nothing but a pretty face from a family with a large bank account. Beyond that, I was all alone. Shallow friendships I formed at university crumbled into dust soon after it ended. I never formed lasting bonds in my earlier years, and only have my lack of social skills and drive to blame for it. You seem to be pretty good at keeping conversations now, though. Months and months of practice at the department. You should have seen me during my first few weeks. Before I joined, it was different. I was a nobody for every person in this town, but I wanted to be noticed, to be liked, to be remembered, maybe. And I sought to achieve it by myself, through my own skills and merits, not family money. And so you started the journey to find your place. You're aware how bumpy it was. Still, I wouldn't call you selfish. You wanted to make friends by being nice to people and by helping them in some way. It's completely natural. Thank you for understanding. Things could have been better, of course, but for now, I'm content with my position, and I'm proud to be friends with wonderful people at the department. And if I wasn't working there, I'd never have even had a chance to get to know you so intimately, Prince. I bet a lot of dragons would have been happy to meet a human, let alone have a pool party with them. Very true. I never was a big fan of the human mythos personally, to be honest, but an alien from another world is no less exciting. We aren't alone in the universe after all. Come to think of it, let me run downstairs real quick to grab a few things. Our party feels a little dry. I'd say it's anything but, considering that we are in a swimming pool. Good one. Alright, I'll be back in a moment. Naomi carefully made her way around me and paddled over to the edge. She easily climbed out of the water without using the ladder, and soon walked out of the room. Left to my own devices, I made a few laps before returning to dry land, where I took a vacant lounge chair. No matter how hard I tried to keep dark memories at bay, my thoughts traveled back to recent events and their possible future consequences. I could only wonder what was going to happen next. So many different scenarios went through my mind. Success, failure, diplomatic fallout, people back home, people here, behind-the-scenes games, the incoming destruction. Are you alright, Prince? Oh, sorry, got a little lost in my thoughts. I saw a dark bottle on the floor nearby, as well as several paper bags. Naomi must have paid a visit to the local bar of some sort. I see I'm not the only one. What concerns you? I don't want to bring this stuff up on our evening out. No, it's alright. Better get it off your chest now. You don't have to hide your worries behind any mask, Prince. Just please be honest with me. Fine, it's... I trailed off for a moment. It's about Raza, isn't it? Can't say I can completely push aside my thoughts about his case either. Too much is at stake. The very cooperation between our worlds is in peril, and many more lives, too. I know. There's something I'm not sure how well you'll take, but how shall I put it more simply? It appears that Raza has not gone rogue on his own accord. His actions are too methodical for a sacred biochemist who has to improvise. Of course, his performance is sloppy at times, but it's to be expected from a lone person conducting a military-level operation for all intents and purposes. Raza had to receive instructions earlier from a competent specialist, and he had a perfect opportunity for it too, thanks to lemon letters, as Mav called them, similar to the one he used to invite you to the portal. Nobody ever told me anything about other secret messages. Obviously, your superiors would keep you on a need-to-know basis when providing information. And on our side, Bright said that Maverick had no proof, so we couldn't add to the case file. However, he shared his findings with me unofficially, and they check out with other events. I'm also questioning the amount of ammo your colleague carries. Way too much for self-defense purposes. I had the same thoughts. He's not the type of person to endanger his mission of helping humanity for his personal gains. There has to be more to it. That too seems to be correct. But can I ask you a favor? Don't relay those conclusions to anyone, else the Council might consider Raza's actions an act of war against your people. The consequences would be absolutely devastating for any and all of my efforts to bring our worlds together. For those back in my city, it would mean certain doom. This is why I'm telling it to you now, in private. You deserve to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be, and I trust that you'll be able to make the right decisions based on it. Legally, I'd be obligated to officially report such findings and theories, but for the sake of your people, and you personally, I'm taking the risk. Thank you, Naomi. Don't mention it. Aren't you concerned about your police work integrity? Not as much. I serve there to make the lives of people better, not to be a cog in a legal machine, and rule books are secondary to me. Quite a dangerous line of thought for an officer. I wouldn't dismiss them completely. Many rules exist for good reasons. Besides, for every risky action I take, I always carefully weigh the consequences of each choice. I can be biased or wrong, but the resulting outcome is purely my responsibility. So if someone asks me why I've done one thing or another, I can lay out my arguments, be they correct or otherwise, rather than citing an arbitrary list, shrugging and walking away. You sound a little like Maverick. Oh, do I? Not as extreme, though. For a moment, I was worried. No need to. You're too nice to be like him. I sure hope so. But this whole talk made me nervous about your return to the human world. If Raza succeeds in his mission, your rulers wouldn't want to have an uncomfortable witness. If we apprehend and convict him, they wouldn't take too kindly to someone who played a crucial role in foiling their plans. But I can't just stay here and abandon everyone back home. They need generators. You said it on many occasions. They don't need you in person. Sorry if I sounded too harsh. I can't risk jeopardizing the diplomatic relations. They expect me to report back, and if I don't, who knows what sort of political crisis it would result in. We don't have a full picture yet. But when I return and take a look around, it would be easier to figure out my next move. There will be no next move. They drop a stone on your head and call it an accident. Don't you understand that those people will step over as many dead bodies as necessary to reach their goals? Sorry again, I don't want to lose you. I can't lose you, Prince. But if you go back through the portal to disappear forever, I will never forgive myself for letting it happen to you. It would be wrong to build my personal happiness on the suffering of others. I have obligations to follow. And what difference would your return make? I don't know yet, but I'd be closer to those who need help. And to those who might want you dead. And I have more than enough means to make it happen without anyone raising an eyebrow. What are you trying to do here, Naomi? Trying to save you, and to make sure that you get the happy life you deserve. I smirked. With you, of course. I'd be content either way, as long as you're okay. I appreciate it, but you shouldn't assume the worst immediately. We don't know for sure if there's any sort of conspiracy to begin with. Yet everything heavily implies it. I know you care deeply about both us and humanity, else you wouldn't be here. Just like you, I value all life, and I'd be happy to see the trade go through unhindered. Arrange the generator transfer, add a lemon letter if you want to make sure they understand it's from you, but please, stay here. If I don't do what they expect of me, there will be consequences. Need to get the power sources your people need so badly to support this city. Isn't that the goal? What about lasting cooperation between our species? They might think you are holding me hostage, or worse. I trust you'd be able to sort it out, Prince. Perhaps a simple video message would suffice. At worst, they can strip you of your status and send someone else to handle the affairs, so our officials would take away your apartment and funding. However, I'd be more than happy to share mine. Here, you are safe. But back home, who knows what dirty games and dangerous plots await you. Thank you for the offer, Naomi. How about this? We catch Raza, and from there, I'm sure we'd be able to decide what to do next. Sounds good to me. Can't wait to see what his interrogation will reveal. Speaking of recent events, the generator we recovered turned out to be a huge boon for the engineering department. I hope they'll be able to put it to good use. They didn't provide me with a lot of details, but they said that the possibilities for technological discoveries are very promising. There's a little formality we need to settle, though. What sort of? You're the one who recovered it, and since the original owners our developers are lost to history, it belongs to you. There's a form they need you to fill to file your claim. Needless to say, the council is very excited about our discovery, and they want to know whom to reward for it. How are we going to explain where we got it from, though? If we tell the truth, you might get fired. I thought about it, but couldn't come up with anything. I was hoping you had an idea. Not a single one. Also, I'm not acting as an independent individual, but as an ambassador of humankind, or rather, a very specific city-state, so it would belong to them, technically. That's going to complicate things even further, isn't it? Right. Maybe you should make the claim. Bryce would still be worried about you exploring something dangerous and ancient, but at least they wouldn't blame you for endangering foreign diplomats. And rob you of all the credit? No, I can't do that to you. I owe you too much already. I reached out my hand and gently stroked her behind her frills. It's alright. You and I know the truth, and that's good enough. I don't want to get in trouble. Fine. But any money or trophies I'm given are yours. Sounds like a deal. Now, let's try and enjoy our evening. I forgot to ask, what did you bring? A bottle of fruit wine, seafood, and other assorted snacks. Where did you find this? There's a bar just down the road. Learned about it while processing some papers for a minor theft incident 3 weeks ago. Now that's a new way of keeping track of local establishments. Stress aside, police work has a few unexpected perks. We don't have any cups though. Check one of the paper bags. Here they are. I went with plastic. I apologize if they look cheap, but I didn't want to drop one and leave glass shards around a swimming pool. I'm surprised they let you take the bottle here. Our receptionist is sleeping, so he didn't protest. Got it. Do we have a corkscrew? The bartender was kind enough to open the wine for us. How nice of them. Naomi grabbed a large bowl while I stuck to a smaller average-sized cup. Unsurprisingly, our vessels combined were enough to empty out the bottle. Thought you were wary of drinking. I am, but that's a lot of wine. Also a lot of dragon. Oh my. What should we drink to? Maybe you should choose. Alright, so this also matters here. What to toast to? You're the host, so you get to go first. Alright. She took a short pause. To our meeting, then. To our meeting. True to its name, the drink had a lightly fruity taste with a very minor alcohol flavor. Both of us emptied roughly half of our respective vessels. A decent taste, almost like juice. We wouldn't want to get too tipsy. I have work tomorrow, and you're probably going to be quite busy as well. But a hangover at work is so much fun. Not with my duties. And most certainly not with something as important as yours. It's not like it would endanger the political relations between our two worlds or something, right? Of course not. Snacks weren't anything huge, but they had a fine taste and helped quell the peckish sensation in my stomach. After some time, I picked up my cup again. My turn now, I guess. Go ahead. Alright, what to toast to? So, to the wonderful things we share is a +1 to romance, and it's only available if romance counter is above 8. To you is also a romance +1. To good luck and success is romance +0. To our friendship is romance +0. Available if romance counter is less than 9. So yeah, nothing else matters. The only choices that matter is if you pick to the wonderful thing we share or to you. Nothing else matters. It has no impact. So I'm gonna go with to the wonderful thing we share. And let it stay strong for years to come. No matter what challenges future holds, I'm happy to have you by my side today, Prince. And I'm happy to be here with you. I took another long sip of my drink, mindful to keep enough of it at least for one final round. Cups are almost dry. Maybe we should get the final one out of the way. What do you say? Sure. Only a few days ago, we met at the production facility, but somehow I trust you almost completely. As if we had known each other for many long years. I wish the circumstances were different, and your stay in our world was a lot more pleasant with less stress. But despite all odds, you showed me compassion and gave me something I never experienced before. Something I truly hope we're going to share for decades to come. To you, Prince. Whoa, that was impressive. Thanks. I was thinking about what to tell you this whole evening. I'd say you did well. Soon my cup and Naomi's bowl were empty, and we stuffed them back into now much lighter paper bags. I leaned back in my lounge chair while the dragoness chose to settle on the tiled floor. Outside, the sun had almost completely sunken beneath the horizon, but still gave the clouds a faint red hue. Want to go for another short swim in a few minutes? Is it safe? I mean, we just drank and had food. Muscle or stomach cramps are pretty dangerous in the water. Don't overstrain yourself, and if anything happens, I'll get you out no problem. What about you? I'm not susceptible to them in the same way you and some land dragons are. She walked up to the pool's edge and lazily slipped into the water, making little to no splash. I followed suit, albeit my entry was much less graceful. For a time, we enjoyed splashing, slowly swimming, or simply relaxing on the shallow part. Eventually, exhaustion caught up with me, and I decided to make my way back. Naomi climbed out of the water as well, droplets freely rolling off her scales. A tired yawn escaped my lips. It's getting late. I doubt I can return to my apartment now. This place is all ours until morning. Where am I going to sleep, though? I guess one of the lounge chairs will do. Suddenly, I found my back pressed against the floor, with the dragoness resting right on top of me. While most of her weight was shifted to her arms and legs, I was still practically pinned down by her soft underside. Her draconic hand supported the back of my head and neck, working like a small pillow. I looked up at her face, our eyes met. Naomi, what are you doing? After all the affection and care you've given me, I thought maybe you and I... you know... Take it a little further? Yes. I don't know when or even if we'll get another chance. Okay, so right now... Very interesting scenario here, obviously. If romance counter is higher than 11, Naomi will pin you to the ground, supporting the back of your head with her hand. She wants to, quote, take things further. Accept is romance plus 100. Reject is romance plus 0. So, obviously, we will accept. Gonna get dominated by a dragon. Hell yeah. Let's not waste this opportunity then. I wasn't planning to. Want to settle on a lounge chair? It wouldn't be able to hold both of us anyway. Good point. But I have a better idea. Without breaking our contact, she rolled a little to the side and eventually onto her back to give me more much appreciated breathing room, while still supporting me firmly with her hand. With her limbs dangling in the air, she looked so vulnerable and oddly cute. She grabbed me by the sides and pulled me towards her chest while leaning backward at the same time. Her wings closed above me like a giant blanket. Feeling comfy? Very. Who needs lounge chairs anyway? Using the given opportunity, I gently ran my hand along her soft scales in long, firm motions. With every pass, her tense muscles softened up little by little. Now, I'm even more jealous of your hands, Prince. The dragoness leaned forward and gave the tip of my nose a playful lick. I quickly switched my attention to the area behind her horns and frills. Naomi tilted her head and pushed against my hand the moment I started scratching. Her body shook up slightly. She leaned down and planted her lips firmly against mine, not a hint of hesitation or uncertainty in her moves. After a short struggle, I managed to free up my arms and wrap them tightly around the back of her head. Naomi backed away a little. Her blushing muzzle remained a few inches away from my burning face. For a moment there, I was worried. I wasn't sure you liked me enough. A silly thing to say for a wonderful dragoness. Silly me indeed. We were reunited and our kiss in an instant. No longer held back by doubts and reservations, we were fully committed to each other. My hands traveled along her soft neck and chest scales, while I soon found her arms holding me tightly around the shoulders. For a time, I forgot about everything. There was only she, I, and the warmth we shared. In the morning, we were woken up by persistent knocking on the door. The pool was about to open in 1 hour, and our booking was soon to come to an end. Naomi gently yet firmly nudged me so I would climb off her underbelly. Her lively disposition was in stark contrast with my slow, drowsy movement. Still half asleep, I complied. We went for a quick shower together, picked up all trash and leftovers from yesterday, and left the building. On our way out, we thanked the receptionist for his help. Naomi left him a tip, and we walked through the exit. That was an amazing evening, Prince. A truly joyful experience. I had a great time as well, Naomi, both during official and Unofficial proceedings. Pleasure's all mine. I'd say we shared pretty well. Hush. I was just joking. Not in public. But I certainly will be looking forward to our next get-together. Same. Until then, wanna go see the big fireworks together? I'm gonna be a flyer on duty for most of the festival's final day from early morning, but my shift ends after dark, so I might be able to meet up with you. Sounds good. Can't promise anything yet, but I'll give you a call later to confirm everything. See you there then. As for now, I have to be at work in an hour, and you probably have enough on your hands as well. Yeah, my job is never finished. Maybe one day it will be. Goodbye, Prince. Take care. See ya. Another free day, yay me. So let me check the status of the characters. Oh shit. Yeah, not great. Yeah. Naomi's impressed. 3 characters are dead. Yadine's neutral, Remi's neutral. Wow. Alright, so we'll get some well-deserved rest. And we're just going to skip ahead. Alright, so here it is, Chapter 5. Either go alone and get the neutral ending, obviously, or go with the fireworks with Naomi. And obviously that's what we're going to choose. So this is a Solitary Minds ending right here. Hey, Naomi. Hey. Nice to see you again, Prince. The dragoness gave me a quick peck on my cheek. Why are you wearing your police badge? Had no time to drop it off. I rushed to your apartment as soon as my shift ended. I see. You can leave it here and pick it up on your way back. Good idea. You need to hurry. The show is about to start. Lead the way. Alright. I have a strange feeling I was supposed to go somewhere else. After a few minutes of walking, we arrived at a rather deserted-looking area near the edge of town. We stopped on a small grass-covered hilltop. Despite a line of trees some distance ahead past farmland fields, we had a decent view of the celebration area. Not the perfect viewing position, but it's better than dealing with huge crowds. I thought we'd be with everyone else. Big gatherings of people are pretty exhausting to me, and you'd get a lot of unwanted attention, too. Good point. Imagine being surrounded on all sides by excited dragons, each wanting to take a picture of you, or have you sign something, or ask a question. The ring around you grows smaller as they approach slowly, and you can't escape because they're everywhere, even in the sky. Not that you had wings or other means of flight to begin with. I'd rather not think about it. Quite a picture. Heh, I might have gone overboard there. Yeah, but I got the idea. Look, it's starting. We waited quietly as the stillness of the night enveloped us. Soon, I heard the sound of the first rocket making its way into the night sky, after which it exploded in a pattern of colors. More rockets followed, their thunderous noise echoing throughout the land. Suddenly, a terrible realization hit me. Considering how public an event this was and how everyone would be watching the fireworks, now would be the perfect time for Raza to make his move. Not only was the village basically deserted, but the sounds of the fireworks would also drown out any gunshots, giving him as much security as he would ever need. As the portal had been repaired by the mysterious person I met, now was the perfect time for Raza to make his getaway, and I was the only one who knew. Naomi, I know where Raza is. We have to get going, now. Where to? Portal. Got it. We rushed off the hill and towards the underground facility. What's going on? Care to explain? There's another ancient generator powering the portal between our worlds, and Raza is after it. Wasn't the portal broken? Not anymore. And of course there's also a backup one which would allow his escape. Most likely. We have no time to lose. Curses. But you seem to know a lot about this stuff. It's a long story for later. Wait, Seba's around that area all by himself. I'll fly ahead and warn him. I hope it's not too late. You try and catch up. I arrived at the portal just a few minutes later. I couldn't help but be glad that it was still turned off. It didn't appear to have been used recently, but it meant Raza was still here, somewhere. I quickly noticed Naomi sitting on the grass next to something large. Hesitating, I drew nearer. Shit, Sebastian's dead too. I was too late, he's dead. That piece of trash got him. Please, stay calm. Stay calm! It's not your friend who lays here dead in a pool of his own blood. Raza still hasn't used the portal. We can catch him. This might be our only chance. We better make it count. Do you have a plan? Yes, but it's risky. And mainly for you. No big surprise, but I'm ready. Go in and try to stall Raza for as long as you can. I'll fly to town, grab some reinforcements, and bring them here. We'll figure out the rest on the go. Fine by me. If he starts to get agitated or nervous, back off. I can't lose you too. Stay safe. Even in the darkness, it was easy for me to spot the site where they had unearthed the building's entry, as it was in a roped-off area that I had seen from afar before. Inside, I was met with a long, illuminated hallway that was lined with doors on both sides. Since the lights were already on, Raza had to be very close. I wasn't surprised at the building still having electricity. Its generators were also powering the portal, after all. Suddenly, one of the doors opened, and out came Raza, carrying a large cardboard box. When he spotted me, he set it on the ground. There you are, Prince. You don't know how glad I am to see you. I wanted to talk with you for so long. I even tried to contact you, but that didn't work with one of them on your tail the whole time. But talking can wait. Now that you're here, we've got everything. Come on, help me with this and let's get out of here. No, not yet. Why not? What's wrong? I'm not doing anything until you answer a few questions. You want to talk now? Sure, why not? We've probably got a few hours if we wanted to. None of them will disturb us here. We could even get the backup generator as well after we send this one over. When did you realize we're in the past? How did you know about the comet? I've known for a while. It's what I wanted to talk with you about when we met at the portal. How about you? I only recently found out. Looking back, it just seems so obvious to me now. I'm not exactly sure how you figured it out, but there are so many damn clues when you think about it. I mean, how could a supposedly completely different, independent civilization speak the same language as us? What was this supposed to be? An alternate reality? No, it was just a different time. When was there ever anything resembling these creatures on Earth? It's not hard to make the jump from dragons to dinosaurs when some of them here look pretty damn near identical to dinosaurs we knew about. And then there was also the prehistoric fruits, the plants, and the fact that their technological level is nearly exactly the same as our own past society. But we don't even have to think that abstract. You just needed to look at the sky. The sun, the moon, even the stars are the same. Constellations change over time, of course, but you know we could account for that stuff. You could have just pointed your PDA at the sky and would have told you the time period, including the imminent threat of being eradicated. You could even see the meteorite in the sky and how it would change its position day after day. Are you done being condescending? I guess so. But I don't understand one thing. What could that be? Did you really have to do this? All these murders and the other chaos you've created? Do you need me to spell it out? I thought better of you. After I found out the truth about this place, I knew just waiting for the generators we were owed was not an option anymore. It would have taken who knows how long, but I didn't intend to stay a day longer than necessary. You wouldn't believe how hard it was for me to acquire some generators. Some of the dragons didn't go down easily. But who cares if they got back the generators I stole? With just this one, we won't need any of the others. So you've become a murderer. You sound like a broken record with that word. Perhaps, but don't you feel at least some regret after committing those crimes? What crimes? You're using such big words, Prince. Let me ask you this. What harm is there really in taking their generators when their whole civilization will be gone in a few weeks anyway? The ones I killed just died a little earlier than scheduled. Even if that creep hadn't shown up and interrupted our meeting, we wouldn't have had the time for them to make the generators for us. How about we don't let them all die? They aren't going to be extinct anytime soon if that's what you're concerned about. I paid the hatchery another visit before I came here. With the right persuasion, I think we'll have plenty of reasons to keep at least some of them around. Bodyguards, border patrols, weapons, even as pets or companions, as long as we make the necessary changes. See, it's not as bad as you might think. I'm not going to just abandon them like that. I can't let their whole civilization be wiped out. Get your priorities straight, Prince. Next, you'd rather starve because you suddenly empathize with a steak, and you're not satisfied just starving by yourself. No, you're gonna let us all starve because you want to impose your morals on everyone. They are not our food to prey on. I'm not imposing my morals on everyone, but rather following some basic decency, something you seem to be lacking. Since when do you think that you get to have any say in this? You know why you're here. What you're proposing is treason, and you know the consequences. Personally, I don't mind if you want to stay here. Your funeral. Just let me through and you can do whatever you wish. I can't do that, Raza. I see how it is. They told you they need this generator to stop the comet, huh? And now you've become their lackey. Don't tell me you've been drinking up what they've been telling you. You know they have as much of a vested interest in this whole thing as humanity does. That I and you do, or at least used to. Do you think they wouldn't do the same thing if it was their families on the line instead of ours? Their entire world is on the line right now. Yet they aren't the ones raiding our places, killing our people, and stealing items essential to our survival. They live in perfect harmony with their flawless green energy source and no reason for wars or conflicts. Yada yada yada. We had that too. And you know what happened then? Of course you do. Peace and prosperity aren't made to last. No matter how far into the past you look, calm has always given way to turmoil. What do they need you for anyway? Maybe they're going to be extinct for a reason if they can't even save themselves. Same could be said about our people, don't you think? We grew too dependent on technology and paid a terrible price for it. When the disaster struck, we couldn't save ourselves, but maybe we could save them now. I don't care what happens to them, but unlike you, I'm at least trying to save humanity. What's left of it, at any cost. We can recover, and we will. You think we really can do it alone? That a single generator be what it takes? We have the solution right here, and you want to get philosophical now? Don't you think we deserve it? They've had it for who knows how long. Now it's time for us. I let out a chuckle. What? Sorry, it's just so rich. Proclamations about who deserves what, coming from a killer, kidnapper, and thief. You might not be listening to my arguments, for your opinions have long been set in stone, but do you at least listen to yourself? Do you think I like it? If there was a different way, I wouldn't have spent the last few weeks doing what you didn't. We don't live in this fairy tale world of yours where there is a perfect solution to everything. You should know that. Just being here for a few weeks must have messed you up. Our lives back home messed us up, Raza, and turned many good people like you into monsters. I think I know why you're like that. You got too used to all the comforts they have here. You actually don't care if they all die back home, do you? As long as you can stay here in this perfect little world of yours, you have discarded everything and everyone back home and replaced it with this. Maybe it's because you just don't have a life back home. What we have at home is hardly what one might call a life. It's survival at best. It'd be silly to deny that things are much better here, but I never forgot about our mission and our responsibilities. The difference between us is that I'm working towards a solution that won't make anyone pay a price too great. I can even understand that a little. Of course, it would be nice to just stay here where they have everything that we don't. But being here also reminded me of everything I hated about our world as it used to be. The pettiness and the politics. Say about the solar flare what you want, but it leveled the playing field and gave people like us a chance to make a difference. And yet we lost ourselves in the process. Tough times call for tough decisions. I know, and I think I've made mine. Look back into the past. For all of our efforts, what did we get? A vote that was meaningless in a sea of stupidity and lies. Now everyone has to pull their own weight. We make the rules. You, of all people, should understand. Of course, those dragons wouldn't. They haven't experienced how it is to live like we do now, to see the world burn and everyone you know die around you. And because I have, I won't let the same thing happen to them. How many do you think died back home just in the 2 weeks you've been here because we don't have power for the hospital, huh? Do you think those victims aren't worth mentioning, or you just care about the few dragons I killed? And would your murders bring them back, or perhaps you have a way to prevent these deaths by using the generator you've stolen? Fighting evil with evil will only get you so far. Our city is the last bastion of civilized society in a world where nothing else is left. And who's to blame for it? Would it be the flare that destroyed our electronics and power grids? Or would it be people who went on a rampage? They looted, pillaged, tortured, and killed left and right like rabid animals just because there was no longer a force supervising them and enforcing laws and order. Those raiders, looters, and other scumbags outside our city perimeter didn't just materialize out of thin air. They were born and raised in our old society, but somehow not taught well enough to resist the animalistic behavior. Our moral and ethical development lagged too far behind the technological one. Humankind dug its own grave in the past years, and the flare merely helped us into it. And you think that's a reason to let everyone back there die? Maybe you've forgotten about them, but I haven't. How many of us do you think will still be there in a month, a year, or are they just a statistic to you? Tough times call for tough decisions. Your words, not mine. In a way, this is like war, not between dragons and us, but between civilizations and their hostile environment. Loss of life is inevitable, but we can make sure it stays as low as we can manage it. What do you want to do? Talk me down from doing this, and then what? It's too late anyway. You think they're gonna just let us go after what I've done? Fat chance. Whatever you may think, you'll find that our leaders back home agree with my course of action. I figured as much. Lemons and letters, right? You're smarter than you look. So they know. And fully sanctioned it. Even provided me with some tips. What do you expect me to do in the light of this information? I expect you to join me. That's not going to happen. And you call yourself an ambassador? This generator is the only thing we need for our city to survive. How can you even argue about this? The dragons need that generator first, and I'll do what is necessary to stop you if I have to. So, that makes you judge, jury, and executioner. What a wonderful set of morals you have there, Prince. No worse than yours. Besides, we only need to wait until the comet has passed safely. You think you can stop the comet, and you need this generator to do that. Sure, and if your plan fails, then not only is this world gone, but we also lose any and all hope to save our own. We are so close now. We can't risk everything by waiting for your crazy plan when back home they are dying by the minute. I will not let you. You only want to save your own two-faced hide because you don't want to suffer the consequences of what you've done. What are you laughing at? It's a joke. It has to be. I'm the one with the gun, and you thought you could just waltz in here and lecture me. Listening to you was fun and all, but the grown-ups must get back to work now. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stop me now anyway. I know, but I was hoping you were better than the animals outside our city walls. Maybe I was wrong. Suddenly, Maverick appeared next to me. We meet again, Raza. You planned this, didn't you, Prince? Traitor! And to think I let you distract me with such a cheap trick, just because I thought there was still a shred of humanity within you. Yours has long been gone. He kept switching between me and Maverick, not sure which one of us he should be aiming at. Just let me go, and I'll forget this thing ever happened. You've got 6 bullets. Do you think you can really do that, Raza? Do you think this is worth risking your life for? I've been risking my life for this every day for the last 2 weeks. What did you do during that time? Sip champagne in your nice apartment? Besides, this generator and the whole building came from our time. They belong to humanity. Suddenly, the administrator came out of the shadows in the hallway behind Raza. No, they belong to me. Confused, Raza spun around, aiming his gun at the newcomer who was slowly walking towards him. Who the fuck are you? Freeze! I said freeze! Want to waste your bullets on me? Feel free. You can't stop all of us. If you say so. He pulled the trigger and the administrator fell to the ground with a dull thud that knocked her mask off. My first instinct was to run away, but as Maverick started charging, so did I. Yet, Raza easily brought the dragon down with 2 hits to the head, forcing me to stop. I have 2 more bullets left. Do you feel lucky, Prince? Do you? Now pick up the box and don't make any sudden moves, or you're next. So, that's how you want this to go. Bloody fool, I'm trying to save your hide, yet you resist. You leave me no choice. Hesitating, I made my way closer to Raza, who in turn made a couple of steps back to keep some distance. The generator turned out rather easy to lift up. I looked over to Maverick and the administrator. Both lay dead in a pool of their own blood. Get moving. The cops will be here any moment. Come on, Naomi, where are you? We're running out of time. I said go! With no other options, I obliged and headed towards the exit. Even with my back turned to him, I could still feel Roz's weapon being pointed at me, ready to fire at any moment. Soon we were outside. I glanced around in vain, hoping to find Naomi. She wasn't there. Waiting for a special invitation, Prince? Just enjoying some fresh air before we jump back home. Looks like your friends will have to go extinct after all. I can't find the suitcase with eggs where I left it. Oh well. They were walking towards the terminal when, from the corner of my eye, I spotted some movement in the dark sky above. Raza didn't. Naomi crashed into Raza at high speed, toppling him easily, pinning him down with both hands. The gun flew out of his hands and landing in the short grass several meters away. I could have sworn I also heard a faint crack coming somewhere from Raza's ribcage. His breaths became shallow and frequent. Naomi, we have him now. It's over. Good job. No. My friends are dead, and you want this scum to live? Hold on. Don't do anything rash. He will answer for his crimes. He will. You're a traitor, Prince. Together we could have saved humanity. But now you're going to just watch this monster maul me? Naomi, please, don't do it. You won't bring them back to life if you kill him. I know, but I also don't want him to live in luxury of our detainment centers. He'll be returned to my world and exiled from the city, but his punishment must be decided and carried out according to law. You work in the police. You should know how this goes. I do, all too well, but so did my friends, Prince. You want him to roam your world while they're rotting in the cold dirt? Wait, don't! I had no time to react. She opened her muzzle, producing a stream of thick liquid, thoroughly coating Raza's upper body. He shrieked in agony, while Naomi just stared at his pain-distorted face, which was being eaten away by her venom. Suddenly, she removed one of her hands from his chest and grabbed his torso tighter with another, lifting him in the air in front of herself. The dragoness glanced at him, now nothing more than a mangled ragdoll, and tossed him aside with surprising strength. I set the generator box on the ground and walked up to Raza, sparing me the worst view. He lay face down on short grass next to his gun, neither moving nor breathing. Feeling better now? No. This is terrible. I don't know what took over me, Prince. My hatred and anger just boiled. I wanted him to be dead, but not before he suffered enough for every death he caused. So I went through with this, like an animal. You know, just a few minutes ago, I tried to reason with Maverick, to tell him that his rage is clouding his mind. My plan was to wait and ambush Raza here, where we have an advantage. But he refused to listen. The pain of recent loss and anger blinded him, and he rushed in. Now he's dead, and I prove myself to be no better than a vengeful beast. Wait, how do you know? I heard gunshots. Mav never walked out. You didn't rush back to aid or check on him once Raza was gone. There was only one conclusion I could make. I see. Slowly, I made my way to Naomi, now sitting down, staring at the ground stained with blood and chemical burns. I wanted to stop you, not so much because I cared for Raza. I just tried to save you from his experience. And I messed up. Again. I wrapped my arm around her shoulders and had her lean against my side. We'll never stay with a monster like me. You shouldn't. I put on a faint smile and moved right in front of her face. She gave me a doubtful glance but refused to lift her head. I reached out for her cheeks and gently cradled her head in my hands. Everyone makes mistakes. Nothing we can do now but move on. Raza was a threat, and in a way, he had it coming. Besides, as much as I hate to admit it, you're right back at the pool. He confirmed that our rulers agreed with his course of action. Likely also provided him with supplies and instructions in advance. So there never was going to be any justice, huh? Probably not. I think we're about to see more political stunts by our leaders in an attempt to save their faces and present Raza as a rogue element. But what now? First, we need to stop the comet. Thankfully, the generator is alright, so the council should be able to handle this task. Then I will try to sort out the diplomatic nightmare between our worlds. Comet? So there's a threat to all life on our planet? There's enough time for your people to prepare, and with the generator secured, we have the means to make sure the disaster will never take place. I see. However, I'll have to get in contact with humanity and warn them to hold on for a little while longer while we handle this emergency. But will they listen? It appears that the power source deal has been nothing but a smokescreen all along. They will, because now their ploy has collapsed, and said deal is the only chance we have. However, a quick check of the terminal revealed an awful fact. The coordinates to my home were no longer present. I considered trying to search for them again, but without Azuma's knowledge, I could never figure out the process. Feeling powerless and lightheaded, I turned around and sat down on the grass, holding my forehead with both hands. Naomi sat down by my side, unfolding her wing over my back. You alright? My homeworld coordinates. They're gone. What? Any way to restore them? No. So, you're gonna stay in our world now. And without your generators, my people are doomed. We might continue to exist as species, but as a civilization, we are done for. You managed to save us, but not your own kind. I guess so. I promise I'll be there for you at all times, no matter how harsh the world might seem. Thank you, Naomi. But I have one last solution. There are emergency coordinates present in the portal. Using them, I can return to the day of my arrival and start over. I never imagined time travel to actually be possible. It is. Sadly, this timeline isn't my first attempt either. I see. You want to go and try again. You're the only person I have left. What am I going to do once you disappear? I'll be all alone. But I can't turn my back on my people. Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna stay in Dragonland. Fuck humanity. I'm just gonna stay here with Naomi. Well, this is a much better ending than the one I got last time, though, I'll tell you that much. Anyway. Bryce, Sebastian, and Maverick are gone now, but I can save them too. I want to stay here with you, Naomi, but my duties are too great to be neglected. You're right. I'm just being egotistic. Millions of lives are at stake. So are those of my friends, but I can't let go of this stupid feeling. Neither can I, but I see no other way. I will reconsider my options once we divert the comet. Right now, I doubt my mind is sound enough to make any important decisions. Makes sense. By the way, shouldn't we call the emergency services here? I already did during my trip to the town, but their response times leave a lot to be desired. So I guess we'll wait. Yeah. Soon, medical and police teams arrived on site. Naomi and I went through a series of questions and a quick checkup, and were promptly sent home. After such a major shock, she didn't want to remain alone and talked me into letting her stay at my apartment for the night. My spacious bed turned out barely fitting for a dragoness of her size, but we didn't mind remaining close together until morning. The following day was nothing but a blur of meetings, talks, and planning. As I did my best to explain the situation to the council and develop a solution, their Ministry of Science was skeptical at first, but my PDA data changed their minds in an instant. They started their work on a comet redirection plan, and the underground facility generator proved to be an invaluable asset for its realization. When I returned to my apartment in the dark of night, I found Naomi waiting at the locked front door. It was easy to figure out why she behaved like that. After all, we only had so much time left to hang out. Every evening afterward we spent together, either going to places or enjoying each other's company. Once the Ministry of Science completed their preparations, the dragons executed their plan and diverted the comet. The general population remained blissfully oblivious to the destruction they avoided. Maybe it was better that way. Now, I had a decision to make. While the Council restored the power to the portal through their own means, they were unaware that the coordinates that maintained my ambassador status were missing. So, I could accept the consequences, give up on my mission, and live my life among dragons. Or, I could use the coordinates Azuma provided to return to the day of my arrival and to try again. I'm gonna go with option 1. I mean, how can I really... After humanity basically was like, yeah, Raza, just go ahead and screw over the dragons. We agree with your course of action. How can you really expect me to feel bad for humanity? I feel bad for Bryce, Sebastian, and Maverick, and even Azuma. But everyone else, like, it's just a barren wasteland. And they kind of deserve it. So I'm gonna stay among the dragons. That's my decision. Anyway, many hours of doubts and restless pacing around the room later, I knew it had to be done. When Naomi entered my apartment in the evening, I already finished gathering everything I needed and was sitting on a couch, fully dressed. She nodded in silent understanding. No! So this is how it ends. With so many lives depending on you, I can't hold you back. Soon I'll see you again, promise. But I won't see you. Tonight you're gonna disappear forever. Such an odd conversation. For you, it's a goodbye, but for me, it's a farewell. I'm not making it easy, am I? I can't blame you. Sorry. Think of all the people you're gonna save, not of what or whom you are leaving behind. Ever since you told me the truth, I knew you'd make the right choice, no matter how much it would hurt us both. This is why I grew so attached to you, Prince. She landed a gentle kiss on my lips, followed by leaning in to rest her head against mine. Her cheeks were warm, and I almost didn't notice the moisture. Eventually, she backed off a little and took a long breath. But I'm afraid it's time for you to depart. Stay safe on your journey, and good luck. Remember to keep your distance from flooded ancient facilities. No promises. Oh, you. I went to the terminal and initiated the teleportation procedure. The portal hummed as power coursed through its systems. When I entered the forming energy field, I looked back one last time. You two take care, Naomi. I will. Alright, so that was ending B, Breaking Point. Mod's ending scene. Yeah, see, I seen. So ending E is the worst ending, and now I've seen ending B. There are 5 endings total for this mod. So that is it, ladies and gentlemen, for A Solitary Mind. Yeah, I'm glad I went back through it again, because like I said, I didn't even go through the research facility the first time around, so I'm glad I went through it this time. Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I would have been like, psych, I'm not going through the portal, I'm gonna be with you, Naomi. Yep. But yeah, that's just me, man. I don't know. I'm not going through this again to save Sebastian and Bryce. I feel bad that they're dead, but I mean, Jesus, after I've gone through this, what, 15, 20 times? I don't even know anymore. I saved them on the Xbox version. They die in the Steam version. There you go. But yeah, I mean, obviously the PC version is superior to the console version, specifically because you have access to mods. Also, obviously, you got the digital deluxe version of the game on Steam, which you don't have access to on console. So you get the whole digital soundtrack. You get a lot of the concept art for the game for only like $5 more. So definitely the Steam version is the way to go if you want to play this game for sure. They even have mods directly integrated into the game through the Steam Workshop, which is really, really convenient. You don't have to fiddle around with files and try to figure out where everything needs to go and all that mess. It's very straightforward, so. Oh, what's going on, level 1? Oh, you just got home? Damn, you're home late. What game is next? Well, I mean, I've still got a lot of ongoing playthroughs at the moment. I need to jump through, I need to get back into, Space for the Unbound. I'll be probably streaming that sometime this weekend. So there you go. Man, this soundtrack, man, I gotta tell you, for this mod, really, really good. You have seen Naomi's good ending. Alright, and that is it for A Solitary Mind. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yeah, it was actually, I don't know if you could hear it in the background, but it was storming like crazy. I was kind of concerned that I might lose power, but that didn't happen, thankfully, so. Anyway, with that being said, you guys take care. Have a great night, and I'll catch you guys sometime this weekend for Space for the Unbound Part 3. Take care.